Hey there, toy collector friends. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Triple TC, that's the time traveling toy collector, and this is another installment of the Creation Matrix. And I'm very excited. Because today we're going to be having a chat with a YouTuber who goes by the handle Monarch Gaming, and it's a lovely guy called Sonny. And we'll be meeting him very soon. And essentially, he's a big time Gerry Anderson fan and major league collector. And so if you check out his channel, I'll put the link. Definitely put the link in my description below, so you can check out his channel. He covers. I don't think there's an area. I mean, I'll find out because we'll talk soon. But I don't think there's an area of Gerry Anderson that he doesn't collect. I think I know where his main interests lie within Gerry Anderson, just from our exchanges via Instagram and seeing what he comments on some of my videos and what he posts as well. But I'm always looking to be surprised and find out new stuff about fellow collectors and creatives who are on the YouTube. So just in terms of how we've engaged with each other, it's predominantly through him finding some of my Thunderbirds and Gerry Anderson model videos, and he also engages with me on Instagram, and he has a phenomenal Gerry Anderson collection. He really does. Puts mine to shame, really. And we would be both sharing enthusiasm for some of the upcoming stuff, whether it's from from Anderson Entertainment or from one of the other licensees. And I'm sure we'll get on to talking about that in today's video chat. He's such a font of knowledge for Gerry Anderson type collecting and the various ranges. That I can foresee and very much hope that we'll do future ones of these as and when things come out, because it's quite nice. I think it might be quite nice to vocalize some of our lived experiences as we're unpackaging stuff, or we've finally got some stuff in hand, because we have done it remotely. So when I've received and unboxed stuff, or he's done it, and we've commented backwards and forwards. But this will be quite nice. Other than communicating via Instagram and YouTube, we've not actually met or spoken before today. So I'm really looking forward to this. So join me as I go to do a live link up with Sonny, aka Monarch Gaming. And I'll see you after the jump. So, as mentioned, I am now delighted to be joined by Sonny Edwards. Sonny is the owner of the Monarch Gaming YouTube channel. And I think it's fair to say, Sonny, quite invested in the worlds of Gerry Anderson.
Most certainly, yeah.
Most certainly, yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today and agreeing to have this chat. You sort of came to prominence because you commented for me quite a bit on some of my Gerry Anderson and Thunderbirds stuff on the channel. I guess what I'm looking to ask in the first instance is, what is it about Gerry Anderson's world that sort of hooked you in? Why Gerry Anderson? What's that about?
So there's a bit of a story behind it, but
Excellent.
I'll try to keep it short. My sister's first boyfriend, when we met him, he wanted to make an impression. He got us all gifts. For me, it was the 32 episode disc set for Thunderbirds.
Wow.
So I got hooked on Thunderbirds through that, and it's just been a childhood icon for me ever since.
Fantastic. So had you encountered Thunderbirds before that moment, or was that the moment of introduction for you?
Very first moment. I mean, I think I was something like 5, probably 5 or 6. So wow. I don't really remember. So, but it probably was, yeah.
That's impressive. I mean, that's quite the unusual intro, really, isn't it? Like, it certainly is a story because most people either naturally encounter it, or their family or friends are familiar with it. But this is So this was induction via sister's boyfriend. So
Yeah.
that's definitely I think a first, certainly in my experience. Um, and what was your first? Because so you got hooked on it through the DVDs. What was your first piece? Because I know you've collected. I think it's again fair to say you've collected quite a bit in the intervening years. Can you remember what the first piece that you ever picked up might have been?
So, the first piece would probably be the Soundtech Thunderbird 2
Right.
playset, I believe from the 2000s, early 2000s, during the BBC rerun. Um, so that would have been my first actual Thunderbirds item, I believe. But, um, so I had the Thunderbird 2, and obviously, in the episodes, there's the pod vehicles,
Yeah.
right? So I had the Thunderbird 2, but I didn't even have Thunderbird 4. I had no pod vehicles. So I went up and I looked online for them, and in Japan, they made a set of Hot Wheels die-cast pod vehicles,
Wow.
and my sister bought me Volume 2, the Volume 2 box set. Unfortunately, it's in storage right now, so I can't show it.
That's
But
okay. But that's
that
impressive.
was my first proper collector's piece.
And would you say from there you've not really looked back, and you've kind of yeah.
Full steam ahead.
Well, I was going to say certainly there's you certainly when I've watched your videos, there's certainly quite the collection across the piece. But of course, it's not you don't limit yourself to Thunderbirds, do you? So you've got you pretty much across across the Gerry Anderson universe, as it were, aren't you? So what would you say would be your favorite Gerry Anderson show?
It would have to be Thunderbird, yeah.
First love, really, I
Always.
suppose. From
Yeah.
back from the sister's boyfriend. Is he still the sister's boyfriend?
Nope.
But you managed to keep the DVD, so that's the main thing.
Yeah.
So that's fine. That's the main part then. So that's at least a positive memory. And but what about the line? So Thunderbirds is your first love in terms of the shows. Does that follow through then with the Thunderbirds line in terms of the Gerry Anderson product? Well, not just Gerry Anderson products, because there's quite a few obviously licensees who produce stuff. But is it mainly Thunderbirds that you're hooked on, or you dip into Captain Scarlet or Stingray or?
Literally anything between Supercar, Space 1999,
Oh yes.
any brand new pieces I do buy. So it is like equal across all boards. Even though Thunderbirds is my favourite, I try cover everything.
And I have to say, we've done. I mean, obviously, recently Thunderbirds have been certainly from Anderson Entertainment. Thunderbirds have been. We've been eating well at the table of Thunderbirds, haven't we?
Yeah,
And it looks like we will be doing so for a little bit longer because we've got the diecast Thunderbird 3 coming, the revised diecast Thunderbird 2 coming, and then of course somewhere down the line Thunderbird 5.
yeah.
So I know how I feel about looking forward to those. I'm guessing you might have a similar yearning for these to be released ASAP.
Yeah, so with Thunderbird 1 and 2, we have gotten large die casts in the past from Japan,
Mm.
but Thunderbird 3, Thunderbird 4, Thunderbird 5 have never gotten large die casts anywhere in the world. So these Thunderbird 3, Thunderbird 4, all very excited for them.
And they look beautiful, don't they? I mean, from
Yeah,
what we've seen of the ones we've had so far, and the site we've been fortunate enough to be given the Thunderbird 3 so far, it does look pretty good, doesn't it? I think.
yeah,
I mean, I think anyone who's a fan of Thunderbirds and Thunderbird adjacent stuff, I mean, they're not cheap. They're considered purchases, but I think they're worth the money. I'm sure there'll be people
100%.
out there that disagree with us, but I don't think you're one of those people that's going to disagree, are you?
No.
No. But again, they've produced quite a bit because I mean certainly I would say last 18 months we've seen across a range of scales and budgets they've catered to us one way or another between the Corgi models, the Anderson Entertainment anniversary models, and of course these diecast. It has been a brilliant time to be a Thunderbirds collector, hasn't it?
Yeah, certainly has.
But there's also, you mentioned Space 1999 there, and across Anderson and also now Master Replicas, there's quite a bit of stuff coming out for those of us who are a bit partial to a bit of Space 1999.
Most certainly is, yes.
And you've picked up most of the, or if not all of the Anderson Entertainment / Eagle Moss, as they sort of snuck a few out first, Eagles. Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to that's coming in the future for Space 1999, for example?
For Space 1999, I think Anderson Entertainment has had its run because Master Replicas is going to be taking the wheel on Space 1999 for now. That's what most of their products going to be. But I would like to see maybe an Anderson Entertainment large diecast laser tank. Something along that lines.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. I'm quite looking for. Well, there's two things I'm quite looking. Well, I suppose technically three. Well, the first one is the Comlink and the stun gun duo. That I think that's coming from Master Replicas, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's a sort of reissue, isn't it, of something that came out a while back. But Master Replicas, I have to say, they're doing really well with their price points. They're
100%.
doing really well. Because I think this was proper expensive when it first came out, but now it's pretty affordable, if I remember right.
So in 2021, 1612 released the stun gun and conlock set for $149.99, which I did look up a few weeks ago. Conversion, it would be about £180 today. So, and now...
And at the time, people would go, that's actually quite good value for money to get these, because I think there's features around them as well, isn't it? They've got some built-in features.
Yeah.
But Master Replicas are they've done well here, haven't they?
Extremely.
I think they've got it down to around 50 quid, wasn't it? Just around 50 quid for the same, essentially the same products. And I think you shared this with me actually via Instagram. But I think it was supposed to be happening in July, and I don't think I've missed it. But weren't they doing sort of an Eagle on a Moonbase Alpha landing pad?
Yeah, they're releasing it in July in memoriam of Brian Johnson, who sadly passed earlier this month. But it hasn't released yet. They've released the Shadow Control Mobile beforehand. I was really waiting for the Micro Eagle launch pad, but they've released and announced that Shadow Mobile first. But so the Micro Eagle launch pad should be coming out within the next few days, weeks.
I was going to say, at the time of recording, we're not quite at the end of July yet, so there's every chance that they'll still announce it within July. But again, the detail of that looked really good, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Master Replicas, overall, I think that here and there's a couple of little nuances with them. But more often than not, they do turn out some really good, well-detailed models, don't they? I mean, I think to be fair to them, I think they really do, overall, do excellent work.
So actually, I don't own any Master Replicas products other than the 3.75-inch action figure line.
Okay.
So I can't speak on behalf of the diecast models, but I'd say I'm satisfied with the Anderson 3.75-inch line.
Yeah. Did you? I think you did, but I can't remember, so I won't hold you to it. But did you also order the UFO release with the base from? Yeah. So we've got that to come. And as you say, the Shadow Controller has just been announced. So a couple of things from the UFO line. They are, as you say, they really are engaging well with that sort of Gerry Anderson universe, aren't they?
Yeah.
Is there anything? I mean, you mentioned about the laser tank, so I sort of penned you in there around Space 1999. But is there anything that you'd particularly like to see, either Master Replicas or Gerry Anderson, from any of the lines? Something that you would like to see?
For the Anderson Entertainment diecast line, I'd love to see a mole from
Thought you were going to say
Thunderbirds.
that.
I'd love, absolutely be over the moon. It's my favourite Anderson vehicle by far.
Oh,
The
really?
Spectrum Saloon car.
Oh,
The
yeah.
little red, like, really fast car from Captain Scarlet. That is my all-time favourite. So I'd love a diecast of that.
I do wonder because again, once they've done all of the 5 main core ships, it makes sense for them to diversify a bit more, doesn't it? Because there's the mole, as you say. I'm also partial to a bit of Firefly, the Firefly, not the series Firefly, although the Firefly as well. But so the Firefly and the mole, I would love to see those as diecast renditions. But I also take your point about moving beyond Thunderbirds with that range, because I mean it's clearly sells. So I wonder, do you think that they would go down the route of, if they retain that sort of supersized diecast element, do you think that they would go down the route of going, okay, we've done these with Thunderbirds, it's worked, let's try it with Captain Scarlet, let's try it with, dare I say, Terrorhawks or something like that? What do you think? Do you think they might go for that?
So I think eventually they might tackle, well, as you know, they've basically confirmed the diecast SPV. They'll be coming for Captain Scarlet 60th. So they're definitely going to do at least one Captain Scarlet diecast. If I had to say, I think they will do a few more Captain Scarlet ones. Possibly a Stingray. It's on the level of just popular enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think what they'll do is they'll mainly stick with Thunderbirds. For now, I don't know what they're gonna do once they get the 5 Thunderbirds, the Mole, Firefly, Fireflash, maybe out of the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully the line just goes on and on.
Well, I mean, there's certainly a lot of, if they diversify well within the Thunderbirds line, they could pull in because there is a range of other vehicles that they could lean into across the entirety of the show, isn't there? That goes beyond just the International Rescue Craft. They could go, well, this was there's this craft or this craft from the various episodes. So I do think that there is mileage there, and like you and I, there'll be many people out there who will go, I can't not have that in my collection. I mean, and I hold you entirely responsible for this, more or less. But I fought off the urge to get the gold Space 1999 Eagle for the longest time, and then you persuaded me, and I have to say it was one of the best things I've bought. It's beautiful. It really is a beautiful piece. So, sort of thank you for that. But I just think that the level of what they're producing at that sort of scale and that sort of range, I know, as I say, I know some people will view it as a considered purchase, and some people will go, it is just a lot of money. But I do think it's a lot of money, but the quality overall of what you're getting does strike me as being really sound. Occasionally there's little QC issues, but there's always going to be QC issues. I know we both shared pain around our sort of diecast Thunderbirds 4. We both had trauma when the first one of those arrived, and I still wake up sweating sometimes, remembering opening the box and going, especially when in your head you're going, but it's a limited edition, I might not be able to get another one. But I think that, to your point about Master Replicas, I think they do seem to be moving in a really positive direction in terms of supporting the burden of producing Anderson Entertainment related material. And of course, what they're doing really well at the moment is that price point. So whereas maybe Anderson Entertainment can carry on with a slightly higher end product, shall we say, Master Replica can be a little bit more retail-y in their price points. Would you say, Sonny, that there's something out there that you don't have that you would love to have? What would be your holy grail collectible?
So, to be honest, there's not a lot of stuff I don't have.
I was going to say, you've got quite the collection, so this might be a bit of a stretch.
But there's certain pieces, like there's a bronze resin bust of Gerry Anderson.
Oh, wow.
Limited to 350 units. I unfortunately don't have that. I'm looking for one. But that's one of my holy grails that I haven't got yet. Wow. But
who produced that originally? Is it?
So it was sold by the Anderson store. They brought in one of the sculptors from Robert Harrop, which is one of the old Gerry Anderson line manufacturers of statues, etc. They brought him in, and that's how they made the bust. I don't know much more than that, but all I know is it was a Robert Harrop employee snatched over to manufacture it.
350. That's a very small yield, isn't it? That I imagine they're very sought after. Do you know how much they went for when they first released?
Unfortunately, I don't. But nowadays, they typically go for around the £200 mark, I believe.
Well, and I suppose the thing with anything that's that limited, this is why I always try and warn people about making sure they're very careful with anything that's a bit sort of fragile, is when it's a limited edition. I suppose over time the value can only go up because people will lose, people will drop, people will break one or two or three or four of these very limited edition pieces, which then of course the market response to that is, well, now there was 350, now there's only 275. So consequently, and they were sought after to start with, so even now much worse from the buyer's point of view, excellent from the seller's point of view. I mean, I think also we've got. The reason I sort of hesitate there is because I sort of wanted to say, is there something from some of the stuff we've talked about, something that you're anticipating the most getting your hands on from something that's been announced that's coming down the line, and if so, when that lands, shall we do another one of these so we can actually start looking at stuff and talk about? I mean, I'm quite excited to get there because I'm a softy at heart, so I'm quite looking forward to the comlink and the stun gun to muck about with that. I think the micro eagle and the landing pad, I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited. I didn't think I would be, but because I just saw how beautiful it looked, I got very excited about the UFO and the display base, because I think it was previously released on its own, wasn't it? The UFO. It's just, I think Anderson did it as a standalone, or am I making that up? I might be making it up.
So the Master Replicas UFO is actually just a reissue of the model from 2005, I believe, from Product Enterprise, now 1612. They did re-release the UFO and Angel Interceptor models around 2020, around the same time as the Comlock and Stun gun. And they did come with their own bases, but good on Master Replicas. They've actually went ahead and made new bases. So they haven't just reused the bases from 2020, 2021. They've actually made their very own brand new ones.
And I think that's great, because it also, not only does it mean that they're bringing back to market some excellent products, but it also gives them that opportunity to say, and we've put our stamp on it. It's actually a Master Replicas product now. So is there, so I sort of folding back onto my question, those to one side, unless those are your answer. Is there anything that is the thing you're thinking? I just really want to get my hands on that. I can't wait until I get my hands on that.
For right now, to be honest, it's probably that Thunderbird 3 diecast. As I say, the Thunderbird 2 looks amazing, but as I said, I've actually got one of the Japanese diecast Thunderbird 2, which is actually slightly bigger. But Thunderbird 3, completely brand new, never seen before in the community. It'll be amazing.
And on that sort of live launch they did it on their podcast, it does look incredible, doesn't it? I mean, I know they've got the photos of it on their website where they're pushing it, and if folks at home, if you haven't seen it, do check it out on GerryAnderson.com. Is that right? I think yeah. But seeing it, the sort of prototype model in their hands, them handling it, gave you a real sense of the size of it and everything else. And I just thought, yeah, take my money, take it. As long as it arrives in one piece, that's my caveat. It has to arrive in one piece. I think, like you though, I wish that it was on a slightly better base. And I'm being mean because obviously we haven't got it in hand yet. But I thought the base could have been a little more creative, because it looks very much like the Thunderbird 1, which is, no, it's fine, that's perfectly fine, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so with Thunderbird 2, they gave us a runway diorama, presumably from Tracy Island. With Thunderbird 4, they gave us the ramp in Part 4, an absolutely amazing idea. Thunderbird 1, it wasn't entirely accurate, but I think they tried to replicate the trolley that Thunderbird 1 launches from. But with Thunderbird 3, this time, instead of where it launches from, they've gave it a moon base, a square moon base. Whereas I was hoping for a launch pad base as well, like the rest.
Yeah, and I think that was because it was consistent then, wasn't it? It would be it's how would we launch this ship? Where would we launch it from? So whether it's Thunderbird 4 launching from the pod or Thunderbird 2 launching from between the palm trees, etc. It was this sort of slightly changes the dynamic. I mean, and I guess that's within their purview. But I think, from a consistency point of view, it does suddenly take it away from Tracy Island and or its equivalency and pop it on the moon. Which, fair enough, it lands, so it can do. But I think that was the only thing but we're not looking at the stand at the end of the day, are we? If that's just going to keep the thrusters safe. And I think what we're going to be getting, can you remember when it comes out? It always feels like such a hefty lead-in time to these things.
I can't think of a month, but I'm pretty sure it'll be the third quarter, and we're obviously in the third quarter.
But it's this side of Christmas, isn't it? It should be this. So we should be getting it in our hands
100%,
in 2026. Yeah,
100%.
I can't wait because like you, it's nice to have some of the proppy stuff, but the weighting. There's something I seem to go a lot about how things weigh, but I think when something has a real heft to it. It just gives it just elevates it for me in terms of how magnificent it looks and feels when it's in a display. I don't know what your views on that. Maybe I'm just nuts, which is possible.
Yeah, I love when collectibles have weight to them. Mainly,
I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah, it gives kind of a quality and sort of you feel more safe with it. Because if it weighs a lot more, you probably think, oh, it's a lot stronger. If I drop this, it might not break. But obviously, doesn't always pan out like that.
Doesn't always pan out. So, but folks at home, don't drop anything, however heavy it is. But I know what you mean. It's that sense of it being sturdy, isn't it? You just think, this is, as you say, this is a quality piece. So you feel the money, I think, because again, not to drone on about it, but considered purchase, blah blah blah, but you feel the investment, don't you, when you've got that in your hand? It does it. It's not lightweight. You're not going, hang on, I paid how much for this? you're going, wow, I can see where the money's been spent. Well, I'm very much looking forward to getting it in hand myself. And as I said earlier, when these things start arriving, let's do another one of these, and we can sort of do a mutual review of what we think about them and how pleased, I'm assuming, how pleased we are with them. Let's go with that. But it's been fantastic having you chatting today. I very much look forward to doing it again. Last question: what has the world of Gerry Anderson taught you about life in general?
Can't really think at the top of my head. Always keep some money on you.
Always keep, so yeah, literally that.
Yeah.
And don't be a puppet.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Sonny, thank you so much. Folks, check out Sonny's YouTube account. I will pop a link to it in the description down below. Stay around and I'll give you some closing thoughts. And thank you all very much. And thank you, Sonny, one more time.
No worries.
Hello. I'm just talking with him has inspired me to pull out my great big die-cast Thunderbird 1, because again, talking about models with heft and weight, this has heft and weight, and if this is anything to go by, I am genuinely, you probably picked this up from the conversation, I'm genuinely excited to get the Thunderbird 3 in hand, as well as Thunderbird 2, and I mean obviously all of it, but Thunderbird 3 should be the next one coming out, and it's theoretically should be slightly bigger than this one, and this is a beautiful piece. And I know again people are going to have issues, some of the issues that they'll have with the detailing and the weathering and whatever, but for my money, and they do cost money, I think they do a good job, and I'm really looking forward to that Thunderbird 3. As you gathered, we both are. So that was Sonny Edwards, Monarch Gaming. As I've said, I'll put the link to his YouTube channel down in the comments below. It is always nice speaking to people. You never know quite how it's going to go, whether you're going to gel, whether there's going to be stuff to talk about. And of course, in something like collecting Gerry Anderson stuff, there's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about. Almost times you just go, I don't even know where to start with what I have to talk with what there is to talk about. So huge thanks to Sonny for coming on. I don't think he's done anything like that before. I know he was kind of excited to do it and was, you know, enthusiastic to come on, and I was thrilled to have him. Thrilled when he said yes when I approached him, because I just know he has such a good knowledge of the various collectibles around Gerry Anderson, far more than me. I know I'm one of those. I know what I like. And over time, I'm sure I'll pick up more and more stuff, and just listening to some of the stuff he says and what he knows about, and reading some of the stuff he posts, I know my brain grows just from being exposed to that kind of knowledge. So hopefully you found that interesting and you enjoyed our little chat. It would be brilliant if you could like the video, and of course, if you're not currently a subscriber, please subscribe, because then I can get greater reach and reach out and speak to more people. There's a few other people I want to reach out to across a couple of the other things that I collect, so I know that we'll have something to talk about, and I'll be doing that soon, and hoping they don't shoot me down in flames. But you know what, everyone's got busy lives, and not everyone wants to sit and talk on camera. It can be a little intimidating. I'm not saying I'm intimidating. I hope I'm not. I don't think I am, but sort of sitting there faced with, without a script and just looking into a camera and relying on your knowledge can be a bit intimidating. So a huge thanks to everyone that's done it so far with me. We've had Collect and Customize, we've had Bricks of All Sizes, now we've had Monarch Gaming. Who knows who'll be next? I know who'll be next. But who knows who'll be next? And is there anyone that you'd like me, because you don't ask, you don't get, so is there anyone you'd like me to reach out to speak to and ask if they would like to come on and chat about a collectible franchise, because you know, I'm up for it. It'll be fun. I'm up for anything fun, you know me. So yeah. And also, as I mentioned with Sonny in this video, I'm more than happy to go back and chat with people again to talk about stuff that's coming out. Like some of the new, well, I can just put that out into the universe, but I think it would be really cool to catch up with some of those folks to talk about some of the recent releases or announcements that we've got. Yeah, I think it could be super exciting to catch up that way. But yeah, if there's anyone that you think it would be quite good for me to chat to, maybe it's you. Get in touch, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. That's it for this installment of the Creation Matrix. I'll be back with a regular video real soon, but please do check around if you're new here, other stuff. And yeah, it just remains for me to thank you very much for your time, and to remind you all that things of beauty, they really are toys forever. Take care. Bye-bye for now.